Alright lads, I'm going to talk to you today about a bit of country style guitar playing. And before we start, I don't really know how to do hybrid picking or any of that stuff, but I can show you what I do to get around that problem. It's kind of a hybrid of sorts, but proper hybrid picking is using the pick and the fingers simultaneously, but I use them separately, if that makes sense. I'll show you now what I mean. Um, Basically what I do is, it's basically thumb and these two fingers, but again, whatever works for you, and I hold the pick like that. So it's really unorthodox. I don't know if it'll work for you, but I'll show you anyway. So it's just what you could practice is just using the thumb on the bass strings and doing double stops, say on the D and the G string, like that kind of thing. Just to build up strength in that hand, get an alternative sort of thing going, and then you can try rolling the thumb, which is basically going. Now, that's not musical, obviously, of itself, but what it does is it builds up the independence in this hand and allows you to do the sort of country style thing, in combination with the left hand. So you have this. You'll notice as well, even on sort of single note lines, you can use that to create a fast sort of passage. So, like, you see what I'm doing there? So the thumb and that finger there are kind of alternating between each other, so you can get this. So that's probably another exercise you can practice if you want to do this kind of thing. So. Something like that, yeah. So the left hand then, it's more or less, I mean, there's a lot of chromaticism, there's a lot of open strings used in this style of playing, this kind of fast country guitar playing. A lot of the time they're not even in tune, but it's more of an effect. They're sort of like passing notes. So again, it's blues scale stuff, but you're adding in these little open strings. I'll show you a little lick that demonstrates that. And this is it, right? Just something like this. Now that's kind of like a sort of a banjo type of thing, but if you break that down, it's actually quite simple. It's just. Something like that, anyway. Another example of that would be, again, in A, would be this lick, and it's kind of, now this is an example of where I kind of personally introduced the pick because it just has a faster attack, and now this is where you have to use your right hand here to dampen the strings. There's a lot of that going on in this as well, because obviously if you don't dampen it, it's a big load of noise, so you have to learn to dampen this as well, that kind of thing. So this lick, anyway, back to the lick again, right? I'll just play it fast so you get the idea, and then I'll break it down slow. So now again, that's kind of a chromatic thing. It's just an example. It's not anything particularly musical, but again, you'll see that all it is sort of chromatic notes and pentatonics, really. So it's. Anyway. So, regarding the techniques themselves, in country music, I suppose you'd use an awful lot of sort of double stops. And double stops, for anyone who doesn't know, are just two notes played. They can be two notes beside each other like this. They can be two notes, anywhere on the guitar. That'd be a double stop. That kind of stuff. So, a lot of the time, mixed in between your individual note solos, you get this going on. So another thing to note there as well is all the way through all these kind of techniques, there's a kind of a consistent feel, and a lot of that is just staccato. It's single, like that kind of thing, Now that's a bit alien to a lot of guitar players because we're used to letting notes sustain and ring out. Again, this is all right hand. You have to learn to kill the bridge, and it's difficult enough on a telly actually. It's probably easier on a Strat, but especially if you're playing loud, if you want these notes to pop out, you have to kill it. here. So it's another open note. I'm just thinking off the top of my head here. Right? Another open string idea might be this. It's more of an Adrian Smith over Iron Maiden deal, but again, it can be used in country music. Like a lot of them in between notes from the pentatonics are used again, as you can hear here. And obviously, everyone's familiar with the sort of, there's a lot of bending in country music, which is on it with the bend. But again, some country music stuff is quite heavy on the bending. Up, down, sideways, you name it. And they do a lot of this kind of stuff with pedal steel-esque stuff. So you hold a chord. Now again, this is a massive area, and there's no substitute for it really. You just have to practice it. But double stops, mega important. Getting some sort of right hand technique going. I'm not sure about the hybrid thing. Everybody seems to do that, and it works for everybody else. But I'd suggest to find your own thing that works. You know, there's no rules to any of this. You know, so and again, like, you know, you sort of have to think like a little bit like a steel player. So there's a lot of bends. So like if you're doing a run, to get that country type of thing, you know, it's sort of a steel guitar-esque thing. So again, I don't know if that helps anyone. I'll stick on a track on my phone here and try and incorporate them few little techniques. So again, open strings. Getting this right now is mega important. So I'll try and focus in on that there for a sec. So again, you could probably just sit around watching telly, just going like. Or whatever, you know. You can use an open A to practice it, which is a good idea because you're going to slide up to the A and use the open string. So it's that kind of thing. And then of course you have your double stops, which everyone knows. And in country as well, they're not used all over the shop, but they're used in conjunction with single line lines. So yeah, if there's any questions or anything, I can probably post another video, see if that helps on you. So I'll stick on a track now and try and incorporate some of them techniques and talk through them as we go. All right, back in a sec. I have the phone connected here. I'm going to stick on a really crappy generic YouTube track for this. But I'm just going to try and implement all the examples we spoke about there and shout them out as you see them. So hopefully it'll make a bit of sense in the musical context. So we'll try it anyway. Here we go. This is the open string type of thing. The rolls. Then double stops. And YouTube is doing it. Just pentatonic key. You can go minor or major here. You can follow the chords. Like there's E down to D. A. Goes off to E. A. A major. Harmonic. Up to D. Back to A. Then up to the E. So then you can do the fast lick we spoke about. Well, I could have done it like this. And on the D. Resolve to A. Loads of bends again. Resolve to D. Now, a lot of microtonal bending going on. Doesn't have to be really in tune, but like a pedal steel. Open strings. Got stop cut mute. And fasting. Nice little few blues bends. Chromaticism again. And you get the general ideas anyway. So. And the general feel thing, if you go back to the D. Double stops. Open strings. Anyway, you get the general idea, hopefully, after all that mess. That's really it. Thanks.